Hello and welcome to part two of our Sons of Struth special podcast, where we're bringing in some of our graduates who have left Sons of Struth Football Academy and went on to bigger and brighter things. So on this part two, we have two players with us. We have Junior and Tyler, who are both 2010 born players. So let's introduce them and hear a bit about them. So who wants to go first? Junior, right. Just introduce yourself, Junior, name, and tell us a wee bit about what you were doing football-wise before you get involved with Sons of Struth.
I'm Junior, and before I joined Sons of Struth, I was playing with Ashfield, and I used to play with West Park, and I was just playing a bit with them and in the streets.
And when did you start playing organised football at clubs? What age would you have been, Junior?
8 or something, 7 or 8.
And what age were you when you eventually came to Sons of Struth?
11.
So you had about 3 years' experience elsewhere before coming. Okay, and what about yourself, Tyler?
I started at Roseville when I was 4. Then I moved to Sons of Struth at 13.
So you were at Rossvale for all that time?
Yeah.
9 years?
Yeah.
Wow, that'd have been a big decision to move away from that.
I know. We were just folding, I think.
Was it age group dwindling in
Aye,
numbers?
aye.
Yeah, and where is it you're both from? Because this is quite interesting to me.
Springburn.
So the both of you are Springburn. The both of you play the same age group of football, and you never knew each other
No.
until you came to Sons of Struth.
Aye.
That's pretty mental, isn't it?
Aye.
And how far apart do you live? He's quite a distance, or
10
he's
minutes.
actually quite close?
10 minutes.
aye.
And these are good pals now, aren't these?
Aye.
That's just incredible, isn't it? It just shows you that football's got an impact on your lives in other ways that you maybe wouldn't. There's a friendship there now that you don't even play for the same team, but you go to the same school, don't you?
Aye,
They're just different. You the same high school, he's at different primary schools.
Aye, we're at different primaries.
Well, I was at his primary school,
Aye.
E1, then I left.
So you wouldn't have been at the school by that because
No.
you're younger, aren't you,
I
at
did
school
in
wise?
nursery then.
Yeah, so you just went to the same primary school
Aye.
at the same time and then came to Sons of Struth and went to high school together. That's amazing. Right, so you both had an introduction to football, you for quite a long time before you came to Sons of Struth. But, you know, you're Glasgow based. There's loads of football clubs in Glasgow, loads of grassroots football club. Why did you come to Sons of Struth? Why did you pick Sons of Struth to play for and not one of the dozen others that you could have?
Well, my mum was looking at Sons of Struth for a while. And some of my pals were playing with him, 09 team and that. So she just thought she'd move me to there.
Yeah. And what about yourself, Junior? How did you
same.
end up?
One of my pals and my ma asked one of his ma if like, how good they were, and she said they was getting better as they was going to them. So I just started joining, and I just kept getting better as
And
well.
who was that?
Carson for the 2011s.
Aye,
Aye.
good. Aye, good. You're younger than you. So you both decided to come and join Sons of Struth. Was there much of a difference in time? I can't remember who came first. I don't think there was a big difference in time, but
Yeah, I came first by about 2 weeks or something. I weird card.
it wasn't much, was it? And you both played in the same 2010 team. So you arrive at Sons of Struth. What was it like initially? First night coming, how does that work in your head? Is it you know, you would have been about 10 or 11 at the time?
12.
You're 12, right? How does that, you know, process work? I mean, you're coming and you're going into, I know you had a pal you knew that played at the club, but a different age group, so you're going into a training environment with folk that you don't know. How does that feel? What does that?
Bit nervous, but just get a job done.
Get the job done.
Get a job done.
What about you, Junior?
It's a bit scary at first, but you kind of get used to people. You start talking to people, and it gets fine.
How long do you think it took you both before you sort of felt settled in? Is it quite quick or did it take a while?
I like 2 weeks.
2-3 weeks or something like that.
So you come into Sons of Struth and you're both probably 2 years with the club, that be about right?
Aye.
Coming up for 2.
Aye, so you've not been a long time at the club and then you've obviously progressed to go into better things and we'll talk about them later. But your time at Sons of Struth, Tyler, maybe first tell us about some of the experiences and opportunities you had with the club and some of the things that you enjoyed.
Well, we got to go to Struth in England for a tournament, and we done quite good in that. We got to the final, but just couldn't win. Like last game, then Sweden we went to, and got to the tournament. Then there were like, some of the Swedish boys in that different places. Aye, that's a bit.
Did you not go to Benfica?
No, I didn't go to Benfica.
Ah, right.
Me
I
and Junior
was-
joined just.
I joined a week before we went to
Before,
Benfica,
aye.
so I couldn't get in.
Aye, that was. I thought you had been in that trip, but no, you Sydney. Then you done the Sweden, the Curva Cup trip,
Aye.
and June. Did you done Silith as well?
Yeah.
And what did you think about that? Was that your first time away in the tournament?
Aye.
Aye.
And what a lot of people watching might not appreciate is in Scotland we don't play competitive football at that age. We don't play competitive football until you're under 13s. But when we went down to England, we can play in competitions, and that there's a competition with trophies and winners and losers. How did you find that? Was that something that you enjoyed? Was it? How did you cope
I
with that?
enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it as well. It's more competitive, obviously, innit? And the games are just better playing against people who are playing for something.
Aye.
You preferred that to the non-competitive
Aye.
stuff. And was that both your first time playing down south, where you were actually playing in competitive football, or has you done that before with your older clubs?
No, it's first time for me.
Aye, first time for me, I know.
And you enjoyed it?
It
Aye.
was good.
And I don't think it's all about the football, that trip. We travelled together, I mean, with the nice parts of Hamilton
Aye.
buses, and we go down and you're sharing accommodation, maybe 2 or 3, families have been with their mums or their dads, and you are getting to know each other, and the parents are spending time together as well away for the football. So there's lots of other aspects to these trips. It's not just about the football, but did you enjoy that whole experience of going away as a group and spending time as a group and living? Did you share a?
Aye, me and Junior did.
Aye, and so you were doing with your parents, and that would have been a slightly different experience as well. Did
Aye.
you enjoy the whole thing? What was the highlight of that weekend?
The games and that.
The games and hanging about in the wee place, forgot what it's called. It's like a wee.
Like the wee club with the
Aye, wee
amusements and the
club, aye.
arcade and stuff.
Aye.
Aye,
The
yeah.
arcades were good.
The arcades are good.
All right, so we spend all this money in a tournament, and the arcades were good. Aye. Hanging about was a highlight. No, I get that. Because I think we see it as the adults organising these tournaments and tours. But when these are away as a wee group, there's a lot of bonding getting done, isn't there? And these friendships, and
Aye.
you enjoy that.
Aye.
So you done that trip. You've both done Sweden.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
It was good. The playing and all that were good. It was funny.
The
Aye.
what? The plane?
The playing was funny.
How was the plane funny?
It was just funny. Everybody on it. It was funny.
We created a bit of noise, didn't we, for the normal
Aye,
passengers, but they seem to they got it. That they
Joining
were,
in.
Aye.
They were joining in then.
what we were singing and stuff like that.
Aye.
I forgot what we were singing.
Aye.
You better forget some of the things you were singing, because I had to give a wee chin now and again.
Aye.
But that trip and your team, it was like having the Sons of Struth Ultras on tour, wasn't it? Yous
Aye,
were
Aye.
writing about it, and you were out with the 08s, so they were a couple of years older, and there's different expectations on that. Did you mingle with the 08s much on the
Aye.
trip?
Aye.
We were talking to them when we were sitting in the wee place. And it was pool tables and all that. We were playing them at the table tennis. It was good.
You enjoyed that, just having that bit of camaraderie, because
Aye.
what we're keen to try and adopt is a sort of one club ethos where we're no 10, 15 teams all playing just in the same strips and using the same name, that we are a club. And, I think especially last season, before you both went away, we made a good run, especially in the Scottish Cup and stuff like that. It was great to see other kids for other teams in the club coming down and support you. Did you notice that? Did you know about
Aye.
that? Did you see that when you were playing?
I seen that.
And how did that make you feel?
Better. Like, wanting to win it more.
Is that right? Try even
Aye.
harder
Aye.
because of the
Because
support you were getting. The what, sorry?
Because the elders were watching us.
Aye.
The older team.
Some development and all were there. It was good.
Yeah. You probably didn't even know some of the younger kids, because we train at 2 different training venues. There's a lot of the sort of 2013s and 14s that
Aye.
I know they were there, and these might not have been aware that they were Sons of Struth kids that were there supporting you. So that's good. And what was the highlight of your time on that trip? And please don't say the plane singing. What did you enjoy about the Sweden trip so much?
I like playing against the Swedish teams. It's a bit different, their play style and all that, but it's good to play against. It's a bit different.
And what was different about their playing style?
I feel like it's faster. It's a bit faster than ours. Ours is more rough, but theirs is a lot faster, I think.
Do you mean what, the speed that they were passing the
Aye,
ball and their
speed they're
movement and stuff?
passing, aye.
And
So
did you?
if can't keep up with them, it's a bit faster.
You couldn't keep up with them, Junior. One of the fastest kids I've seen in the football part, son, and you couldn't keep up with them.
Aye.
Was it a benefit to you though? Was it something that
yeah.
helped you progress?
It helps you playing against faster people and the way they moved the ball. It was good playing against them. Some of them were a bit older, so it's good to get a game against older players.
Yeah. There was a 2 or 3 year spread on the tournament, and they tried to get the first day the fixtures more closely matched to your age group, and then the second going into the knockout stages, it was a wee bit more open. But you were playing against kids from all over Scandinavia. There was a Scottish team, also a Curva Select team that he's played against. He's played against kids from Iceland, Sweden, Norway. I think there was a Danish team there, but I can't remember if any of us played them. So, but you enjoyed that trip. What was the highlights of that trip for you, Tyler?
Same as junior, playing against new, like different teams. The way they play, it's a lot harder, but it's not too hard. But I could keep up with them a wee bit. But started to tire me the next day, but done quite good.
And the fact that you're away and playing 2 or 3 games a day, a lot of travelling. If you remember getting there, and we flew into Copenhagen, which is in one country, and then we got a train. It was about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours in the train up to Helsingborg, which is in Sweden, where we were staying and playing. So quite intense couple of days. And did you find it difficult playing against kids with different ways of playing football?
A wee bit, aye. It's like just them passing it, just look good, look better than what we were passing it like.
It's hard to try and adapt to their play style. It's different.
What was hard about it, Junior?
Yeah, with their passing, you're trying to move and they're just knocking it by you, and then they're playing it and they're just kicking it around the corners. It's just hard to deal with.
To be fair, you were what turned out to be the most successful Sons of Struth team ever that year that he's had at under 13s, and you were used to probably playing a lot of teams that weren't giving you a challenge and were winning quite comfortably. And even when we came across better teams, we were able to match them, and we weren't maybe pushed as much as you were. So getting you into that environment in Sweden, half of the reason for going was to get you that, let's look at what good looks like, and a step above hopefully what you were playing against in the league games. Did you enjoy that? Was it worthwhile doing it, or was it something that you're thinking, well, what was the point in putting us in against teams that were better than us? Did you get there was a positive to be taken out of that?
Yeah.
In what way?
Like fitness and all. It got us prepared for big games that were coming up, like Scottish Cup and that, which was good. But we didn't make it through quarterfinals because penalties.
Horrible penalties,
Penalties.
Well, we won a tournament last year at this time of year. Last year, if you remember rightly, down in the international tournament there, we won that in penalties. So it's just one of the things. You win some, you lose some. But I swapped the penalties for the Scottish Cup penalties, and it was ironically the same team, wasn't it? Kilwinning.
Aye.
But I know that was a tough day. But I think that whole season we only lost 3 times in the 3 Run Cup games. Last 8 of the Scottish Cup, we got beaten the semi-final of the West Region, and we got beaten the final of the League Cup. So, but for the wee, bits of luck, we might have had 4 trophies, an extra 3 that year. But it was a great achievement. Do you understand that what he's done was special?
Yeah.
Aye.
You get it?
Aye.
I mean, at the time it would have been difficult, especially the 3 games being so important that you got beat. But did that take away just how special it was winning the league unbeaten? Did that tarnish that at all?
Nah, no for me anyway.
Same.
I think it was still just as good. I thought just celebrating all the team. It was good.
You'll not forget that day at Benburb when you won the league. Good day for you.
Aye, we had the pyros and that.
Pyros. So what was the highlight of that? I mean, it was quite a busy day. There was a game, there was a celebrations. But what was the highlight of that game for you?
Probably a final whistle, but
Aye.
Just the emotions.
Aye.
What's it like then? You're playing in that game to win the league. It's a Division 1. It's a big achievement, and we've done it with a few games to spare. I think we had 2 or 3 games to spare. So you playing that game, you think, if all we need to do is win this game of football, and we win the league.
Aye.
The first time I'm asking. What's your head like at that point?
You're nervous at the same time though. Nervous, but it's a good feeling as well. Try to go into the game and want to win.
And can you feel nervous before it, Tyler?
Aye.
And obviously it didn't last the full game, but as the game got on and
Aye,
It's
started
just
to
become a
feel-
normal game again. Or
Aye.
can you actually get it out your head that it's just a normal game, or is it like there all the time? Christ, we need to win this to win the league.
No, there all the time.
Nah.
Just start playing, get a few passes in, then you're all right.
Aye.
Aye. So you both spent a couple of seasons at Sons of Struth, had some good experiences, Struth and going to Sweden and stuff like that. What was the highlight of your time at Sons of Struth, Tyler? What was your, if you were to say one or two things that were really special about your time at Sons of Struth, what would they be?
Winning the league and Struth.
Yeah?
Aye.
Aye.
I like Struth and all.
Yeah, well,
And Sweden.
Sweden.
Aye.
Aye, but I liked the Struth trip was good.
Aye.
And getting used kids, you know, you could talk all day about whether kids in Scotland should play competitive or not. That's a debate for different people. But we don't play competitive football. So I think it was important getting these down and seeing how he's done in that environment. And good to be a team at the time playing the 7-a-sides back then. Did we play 7-a-sides in that tournament? Was it 9s? Can you
It was
remember?
9s.
Was it?
Aye,
Which
9s.
that would have been new to you as well,
I
wouldn't
thought it
it?
was 11s.
No,
Was it no?
no,
No, it was 9s.
no. You got some memory, big guy. Eh?
Rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, so all these things were important, and I think he's coped well with it and getting to the final. And you know, would have been a new experience. And English teams, they play competitive all the time. They're playing in competitions for a 5-year-old, so they maybe get a wee bit of a heads up. And what about you, Tyler? What's your couple of really most enjoyable moments for your time at Sons of Struth?
Aye, I would say Sweden and winning the league. I'd say winning the league just taps it. I think that would just be a bit of it, but Sweden was really good and all.
And what was it about Sweden? I mean, obviously we didn't win anything at Sweden. We were only winning trophies, so that's up there with your favourite things. What was it about that trip that you particularly enjoyed?
I just feel like it's just spending time with our team. It was just good playing, sitting in the room and all that. It was good. A good experience.
Did you feel like a proper refit player?
Aye.
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 And was that the first time you'd been away abroad without parents?
That would have been the first time, aye.
And obviously you're in there with a group of guys, it's your pals, and that would have been a bit different. Who were you rooming with?
Me, Tyler, Sander and Harry.
There was 4 of you in that room, aye.
Aye,
Some had 3,
four,
didn't they?
aye, some
And what was that like, being away and sharing room with folk that you know, I know your brothers or sisters are in, they're just folk. Was that a bit of a strange experience for you?
No, I thought it was fine. It's
Quite funny.
aye, it's a good laugh.
I was not uncomfortable at all
No,
in any way.
no.
And again, was that your first time to be in that situation away as a group?
Aye.
And then, so obviously, you've had a couple of years at Sons of Struth, quite successful. And then you've moved on to better things. So, can you tell everybody that doesn't know you where you are now, how you got there, and what's happening going forward with you? Who wants to go first? Are you again, Junior? He's good at that, isn't he?
Aye.
Junior will do it.
So right now I'm at Hamilton and I got scouted for going to the West Regional Scotland thing. We played a game and I got scouted for there and then just got asked to go and have a trial with Hamilton and just got in.
And, your trial didn't last that long, did it? You were
3 weeks. 8 weeks it was. Supposed to be 6.
and I don't know if you're aware of it, and we'll not mention the team. But when you went in trial at Hamilton, did you know? I know I spoke to your mum about it, but you know there was another team come in offered you trials, and we'll not say who they are. That's a bit disrespectful, but you know you were certainly on. You were certainly on the radar of a few clubs, and you went. I think you went. It was maybe a 6-week trial, but they signed you up quite quick, didn't they?
It was 3 weeks. I had 2 or 3 games and then I got invited and then I done all the signature thing and all that. And that was it.
And who broke the news to you about
My mum.
that? How did that make you feel?
I was buzzing in my room. I was just sitting down. She came in and she said I had been signed. I was just confused because I thought it was 6 weeks. And it was just a bit of a shock. It was good though.
And who delivered the news that you were going in trial in the first place?
Yeah, my mum and my dad actually.
Aye. What's that like as a boy? You'd have been what, 11 at the time?
Yeah, 11.
But I mean, you told your, Hamilton Accies when you go on trial. Was it nervous? Did you?
Nervous. Really nervous.
How was that when you walked through the door that first day into this environment that you're quite new to? How did that make you feel?
It was scary, but at the same time, I obviously know Billy, so it's alright. It's not too bad, as you know somebody and they can kind of introduce you.
Yeah, because did you play with Billy for maybe about a year then at Sons of Struth before he went to Hamilton? And theirs for a while. So
Aye, a wee bit I played with Billy. So obviously know him.
and obviously Billy's twin, Jamie's
Yeah,
plays with
Jamie,
Sons of Struth. So Jamie and Billy are, Billy's at a lot of your games and you would have known his face and
Aye.
stuff. So it was good to have him there. And can you remember that first day you walked into training? What was that like?
It was good. It was scary and it was a lot harder. Like see all the training and just try to keep up to speed with all the players, and it's just a lot sharper. It's harder, a lot harder.
And then you get the news you're signing. See, when you go in and you're on trial, obviously, I imagine you're nervous. You're just, apprehensive what's going to happen. I hope I get through. See, when you get that news, right, or signing you, see your next training session and your next game, do you find that easier now that a bit of pressure off you?
Aye. Feels as if you're kind of relieved and you can just start to settle into the team and you can just start getting improving.
And what were the other Hamilton players like when you turn up and you're on trial? How does that go with them?
They were alright. They were pure friendly and they were just talking to me and asking me what team I was at before and all that. It was good.
Had they heard the Sons of Struth?
Aye, because of Billy, obviously.
Aye, and see, I'm always a wee bit. It's just a wee, no scared's maybe the wrong word, but obviously you play centre back, right? And there's a centre back or two already at a club, and then you turn up, and the first thing people say is what positions you play, and you go, I'm centre back. How does that go down with the centre back at the time?
You can kind of tell that they don't really like it, but it's competition, innit? It's just competition.
It didn't cause you any problems away, but you just know it's there and you can sense it.
It's not any problem, but you can kind of tell.
Yeah, and like what, in another 6 months, if they bring in a centre back as a trial, you'll be like, "What's up with me?" Yeah. How will you cope with that?
I'll just keep training, just try to get better and better.
So you've been at Hamilton now maybe 2-3 months.
2-3 months. Aye.
And enjoying it.
Aye, really enjoying it.
What's the training like?
It's hard. You don't notice how much you're running because it's not really like just running, but the drills you can't tell, but you're really running.
It's invisible miles. What they do is they're working you hard with a ball at your feet, so you actually don't realise the amount of miles you're putting in with the running. And how's the? I mean, many games have you played for Hamilton so far?
7 or 8, I think. Now coming up for 7 or 8.
What's the opposition been like?
It's really hard. See, every game is a challenge. Every single game, and all the players are really good. The way they play.
What is it? Faster, quicker? The ball's moving quicker.
More physical. They're in your face faster and all that. It's a lot harder.
You don't get any bully folk as easy, are you, Junior? But are you coping all right? Are you struggling with it, or is it something you're enjoying and just, do you feel yourself getting better as each game goes on?
I feel like I'm enjoying it more. The physicality of the league and all that is much better. I like it physical.
Who's the toughest team you've played?
Kilmarnock, I think I'd say Kilmarnock.
And where did you play them down at Rugby Park?
No, we played them at some high school. It might have been. High school.
Yeah, I think I know the one that Kilmarnock used. I can't remember the name yet, but I've been just in the outskirts of Kilmarnock if it's won something academy. I've been down there. So far so good and enjoying it. And when does your season start?
I think on the 19th. The 19th.
So a week on Saturday.
A week on Saturday.
Who are you playing?
Dundee United.
A tough game. Played them before.
Played them before.
So Tyler, over to you. You've obviously moved on to St Johnstone. Who delivered the news about that trial that you were looking at you?
My mum. She was speaking on the phone and I heard something about. I'm talking to my grandpa about St Johnstone, and I ran up the stairs. She just told me, and I was running about the house and all that.
You're running about daft, waving your arms and just shouting. Are you excited about it?
Aye. Can't even explain it.
Aye. And then, so you get the news of your mum was chuffed to bits. Your granda, he's a good supporter of your football as well. So you'd have probably made them proud, even just getting a trial. So you head up to Perth to McDermott Park, start training. How did you find that walking through the doors the first time and training? That's probably a different level than you were used to. What's that like?
It was a bit harder, but I was still nervous, but I just kept playing like the hardest I play, just to get that, just so that I get signed.
And when you went up to St Johnstone, How many trial games did you play?
2. I think.
Who were they against?
Thistle and I can't remember the first one.
How did you get on them? Did you get fit in easy enough, or did it take a wee bit of time just to get into the pace of things and the different tempo?
First game I didn't really play that good, but my second game I played good against Thistle. I think I got like 3 assists and a goal.
Serious?
Aye.
And we had Seb in earlier on today. Seb was,
Aye.
did you both scored in that game, didn't
We
you?
both scored in that game.
Oh, that must have been a bit peculiar playing against an old teammate, and it's something that
Both
the
playing
club.
striker, I know.
You what?
Both playing striker.
Or were you playing through the middle that day?
Aye.
Aye. Well, it makes us proud as a club that there's a pro youth game and 2 of the goal scorers are just the one team at our club, not even different age group, the one team at our club. And then we went to one of your early games, Junior, where we had Scott playing for Queen's Park and you were playing for Hamilton, and who was the other? It was 4 of you. Jamie was in trial at Queen's Park at the time, and
Billy.
Billy, who'd left the Hamilton previously. So I got to come along and watch 4 of your ex-kids all playing in one pro youth game. And how did that feel that day? Was that a bit of a weird one for you?
It was a bit weird, but I enjoyed it playing against them and kind of catching up with them because I hadn't seen them in a while because I was obviously training with Hamilton, so it was good to catch up with them.
Who get bragging rights?
That's
What did you score?
2-0.
To be fair, I was at the game. I watched the whole game, and Queen's Park were better than I thought. I expected to be able. I thought Hamilton might have found it a wee bit easier because though it was 2-0, it wasn't a big gap. That, you were the better team that day, but there wasn't a massive gap. It wasn't. You weren't going to win 4 and 5-0. So I think they played well. How did you find that game?
They moved the ball well a bit at the back, so they kept moving it, but I think it was just trying to find a goal. They just couldn't really get it.
Is that because you're such a good centre back? So that was another great experience for us as a club and for me as the founder of the club, just to see 4 kids on the one part at that level that it came from our team. That was special. And who's playing this weekend against ex-Sons of Struth? Is one of you know? Did you not tell me outside?
I'm playing against Thistle.
So you're playing against, your turn to play against
friendly.
So the last time we had 2, he's playing against Seb, you both scored. Do you think we could do?
We won 6-2.
Oh, there we go. It's the bragging rights again.
We won 6-2.
So do you think you could get a goal and the 2 of you could score this one?
Hopefully. Corner maybe.
Do you get up for the corners? And
get up for the corners. Nearly scored a heater in my first game, but hopefully I get a goal.
Have you scored yet?
No.
On, big guy.
Half us inside the post my first game. 15 minutes in, man, I was raging.
How many of you scored for the St Johnstone?
3, I think.
And so when you get the news you're going to St Johnstone trial, you get up there, a bit of training, playing a couple of games before they signed you?
Aye, 2 games.
Who did you play against?
Thistle and...
Who was the other one?
I didn't know that.
Can't remember. So you've done the 2 games, you've done a bit of training, maybe a couple of 3 weeks, and they've made the decision we're going to sign Tyler. Who got to deliver that news?
My mum again. I think they told me at training. I was getting signed a week before. I done the signing, and then I don't think I was speaking to the coach at the time. My mum told me after, and then when I was in the motor, I was just sitting down. He told her to come here, and then she came in the motor and told me, my grandpa and my mum were buzzing.
Oh yeah.
Aye.
I bet that was a nice wee drive down the road that night.
Aye. A long drive.
There was something I can't remember because when the coach phoned me to say, can you release Tyler? We're going to sign him, which the clubs need to do just because we've got you registered. And I can't remember, but he said, could you just keep it low key now? Don't smash it out on social media for a week. I don't know if there was players that were releasing, and you can only sign so many at a time. So that must have been a bit difficult. Maybe you need to keep it quiet for about a week. Would that be right?
Aye, I think two 1 week.
Aye. Did you just want to tell everybody, didn't you?
Tell everybody. I did tell my dad and that.
Aye, obviously, aye. But, how does that make you feel when you're going to? Have you been at school, by the way, since you signed up? It was before the school holidays, wasn't it?
Aye, it was before the school holidays.
I've been at school as well.
And how did the school react? I mean, the teachers and all that know now. They buzzing for you?
Put us through the gym and that.
They what?
We've got a school academy, football academy that we then they've put us through for that, and the gym. So the school's helping as well.
They're really quite proud. It's just one school, it's the same high school, isn't it?
I know.
That's amazing, isn't it? So not only is your club quite proud that two went pro youth at it's almost the same time, wasn't it? It was probably a few weeks apart. That I just the same high school, I'm forgetting. So you sort of wee superstars in the school now. Aye. How's that make you feel?
Good.
You enjoying it?
It's good.
And then you look forward to coming back to school next week?
Bored.
You what?
I'm bored.
You're getting bored?
You're
not getting enough football to play?
No.
On that, how do you cope with the training? I would imagine is a bit higher tempo, and it should be because you're now getting coached with professionals. Our club are all volunteers, obviously. We've got the Curva guys come in, and they're professional to assist us and help you. But what's the biggest differences between playing at grassroots and playing at pro youth?
I would say the speed of the game.
The speed, that's what I was about to say, and the fitness.
I think a lot of the training is like whatever. Like you don't notice how much you run, but you can kind of feel it after you're coming off because you're just always with a ball at your feet.
Yeah, the training's a bit more intense. Yeah, that's what we try and adopt that with our club as much as possible. Bear in mind, I'm a volunteer, we're all volunteers. And if I was a better coach than the guys coaching you at Hamilton or St Johnstone, we've got a problem there. The whole thing's upside down. So you've got to accept that you're going to be at a higher level. And that's why Sons of Struth bring in Curva. They try and give you a sort of halfway, you're getting a more intense training with Curva, and hopefully our coaches, they've seen when Johnny coached you for a while, a lot of his drills are Curva type drills, aren't they? And quite high tempo and a lot of people involved. A lot of coaches you might remember for your old days, there's only one, you're standing watching and waiting for your turn in a drill. And there's a lot of inactivity. What we try and do is have more kids active than inactive. And again, when I go and watch pro youth teams train, 80% of the kids are active in a particular drill. So what we try and do as a club is prepare you for that, is have the Curva there and expect our coaches, and Johnny's probably one of the best at the club, but you're doing Curva type sessions as a volunteer. So that it's not as big a step up, but it'll still be a big step up. And then when you go to play the games, with all due respect to our teams and the teams that we play against, you should be playing with better players and playing against better players. Because if you're not, then we've got the wrong players in pro youth. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You
should be playing against the best teams and best players and better than you can possibly play in grassroots, or the whole thing's wrong. But does he understand that? Did he take a wee bit getting used to, and how you cope with that just now? Are you feeling you're at that level now and you don't feel it's too quick for you?
I feel like I've adapted to it really good. Yeah.
To the training and the games, or both?
Both.
But did you see a difference?
I seen a difference, big difference.
And what about you? Did you see the same, Junior, that step?
It's a lot harder, but you kind of get used to it after maybe your first, second game. As you're going into the third, you get used to it, and because you start to know everybody and as well, and it starts to become easier.
But it is noticeable to you.
Aye.
Well, that means the thing's working, because if it wasn't more difficult, you're only playing with better players and playing against better players, then the pro youth grassroots thing would be upside down. So that's the way it should be. And what's next? I mean, what are you looking forward to this season? What's your aims? What's your ambitions? Where do you go from here?
Score goals.
That's a bit selfish.
Win games, score goals.
Aye. What about you, Junior? You looking forward to this season coming?
Aye, beating Celtic, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Aye, same.
You what?
Beating Celtic.
You want to beat anybody else by them?
Oh, well. Aye, everybody.
You'll be playing against them twice this weekend,
Twice,
Tyler.
aye.
Once in that tournament up in Dundee, and then on the Sunday in the normal game. You maybe need to be careful here, because you might in 10 years be professional football players and folk could pull that video off the internet, right? But you're both Rangers fans. I think that's that's no problem. Have you played against Rangers yet?
No.
Would you enjoy that?
I think I'd enjoy that.
Aye, same.
Aye, well, I mean, I think hopefully these to get to go down to a lot of places. I mean, going to Lennoxtown and Barrowfield playing Celtic, going to Auchenhowie playing Rangers, these will be good experiences for you. And what's out of the pro youth places that you've been, what's the best setup you've seen? What's the best training grounds you've been? Have you been to enough now to see a few, and was there any that particularly stood out for you?
I would say Tynecastle.
You're actually in Tynecastle? Oh, you played at Tynecastle,
Tynecastle.
that's right. I've seen the photograph where he's coming out. That was one of your first games, was it not?
Second or third, I think it was.
You were still on trial at the time, weren't you? You
I
weren't
was
signed by
on
Hamilton.
trial. I was on trial. I wasn't signed with them for yet.
And you got to play at Tynecastle.
Aye, I
What
was
was-
buzzing for that.
How did that feel once you get told you're going to play against Hearts in Tynecastle?
I know I didn't believe him at first, but then the coaches were telling us, and I was just kind of confused. But it was a good experience, just being in the changing rooms and all that. It was good. It was massive.
And was it the adult changing rooms? They didn't put you in a different changing room? Was it changing rooms?
It was kind of. It wasn't the full changing rooms. It was a bit lower, but they were still good changing rooms. But the pitch was brilliant as well.
And that was at the end of the season, wasn't it?
Aye, nearly the end of the season. Aye.
So although it would have been used for a full season of first team games, you going on to that for what you've been used to at boys club level and a couple of pro youth games, was it an excellent surface? Was it flat as a pancake and just?
Aye, the grass was brilliant on it. It's better playing on good grass, I feel like.
Well, it's the ball's going to run through her, and you're not going to get daft bobbles and stuff. So you're lining up to go out. And I remember seeing the photos. Billy was the captain that day, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
So he's walking out, leading the team out the tunnel at Tynecastle. What's going through your head at that time? How did that feel?
It was just brilliant. You could just see hundreds of people behind you in all the stands. It was a nice day as well. It was roasting. It was lovely, so it was.
And you started the game?
I started.
As a trialist, that's a big thing. And did you play a full game?
And no, I played the first two halves, I think. And then I came out for the second.
So did they play 3 periods and you played 2 of them?
No, we played 4.
Oh, we played 4? All right.
We play 4.
And what was the score?
5-3, I think it was. 5-3.
To them?
Aye, to them.
Close.
Aye.
And after that, they just thought, this is what I want to do. Did it give you any inspiration to want to do that again and do it as an adult with a full Tynecastle?
It makes sure that I become my pro, so you can keep playing in stadiums like that. It was a good experience, Tynecastle.
And it would have been a wee bit of a crowd there just with parents and families and stuff.
Aye, because a lot of people's parents and all that would have wanted to go to obviously see them playing in Tynecastle. It was good, so it was.
So it wasn't full, obviously, capacity like Hearts first team playing there, but there'd been a few hundred people there, I'd imagine, eh?
Aye, in the stand behind us, there was about 100 people, maybe 50 to 100 people.
Could you hear it? Did it have any effect on you?
Nah, not really. I just focused on the game.
Well, fair play to you. So it was your second or third game on trial for Hamilton. You're playing in a very famous, well-known Premier League stadium, and you've got a wee bit of a crowd there, and you just managed to just go on, mate, and play your game. Good for you. Tyler, what sort of experiences have you had with St Johnstone now? Have you done anything you thought, this is good, I'm enjoying this? Was there anything that stands out in your short time you've been at St Johnstone?
Aye, the Hibs training ground was really nice. I just played in that last week. Well, last Saturday I played against Hibs there, and they beat us 4-2, and it was like 16 degrees. It was a hard game because it was that hot, and they were a really good side.
I've been up to Hibs training ground. It was a while ago when my son played against them for Queen's Park 10 years ago, but that was a decent facility at the time, and I remember they played in grass, and it was quite a nice surface. They still playing the youth games in grass, or
No, we were playing the Astro.
But a good game, and what made it special? Was it just the surroundings? Was it?
I just Hibs training ground. Just felt like a big game. I've never really played that big. Well, I've played a big team, but that's like the biggest team I've played, I think.
Yeah, so far.
Aye.
Well, to be fair, I think the two of you will have a lot more experiences like that going forward. Two good football players, and I'm sure you'll be at Hamilton's and St Johnstone's for a while yet, and possibly going to bigger, better things going forward. But I think you've got to understand that the hard work's not over, is it? This is just the start. Mm-hmm. That you've got to still go in there every day thinking, I want to be a professional football player. And if you go into sessions not with that mindset, you're not going to do as well as you should. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
You never know what opportunities will take you. So I think it's important that you understand that you've played at Tynecastle, you've played up at Hibs training ground, and that's not the end of the journey. That doesn't make you a football player. Mm-hmm. You've still got a big road in front of you before somebody will pay you to play football and pay to watch you playing at football. So, no, you're doing brilliant now, and that one team, to have one team at an 8-year-old football club that lost 5 players, well, 4 this season alone, because it was Seb, used to, and Scott. Yeah, all signed since about March to now. So that, to have 4 players out of one squad is absolutely phenomenal. We're getting players all over the club signing pro youth. We've got kids all over every age group and trial. We've got kids that are too young to sign in training at professional clubs, and it's absolutely fantastic. But I don't think it'll be too long before Sons of Struth have produced a player playing in a first team somewhere. We had Cody in earlier, and then we had Callum. Callum's he's 15 now. He's playing under 16s. He's going in this weekend to play Dundee United under 18s, and then he's going up to 11 Dundee full time train for a week or two just to get a look at him. So they've got a wee bit of advantage on you that they're a wee bit older. But I don't think it'll be too long before Sons of Struth's got somebody playing professional football, and then we'll all be proud that day and we can go and see whoever it is. It's the first ever debut, but I think he's certainly got a chance of doing it, and potentially, depending how you like the older ones go on, it might be somebody for 2010 team. It's inevitable one is going to crack it, and hopefully the old candidates at Pro Youth just now. But you've got great futures ahead of you. Do you? You do know that hopefully a lot of the younger kids at the academy will look at this at Sons of Struth Academy. Do you have any advice that you would give them if you can think where you are now and think, well, see 3-4 years ago I could have done with this advice? Is there any advice you'd give to any of these younger kids watching this that would help them in their journey?
I would say keep practicing with your weak foot, because I never used to do it, and it helps so much if you've got both feet and you can use both of them good. No,
that's good advice. You don't need to be tremendous with your weaker foot, but if you're a 4 or a 5 now with your weaker foot, and you can get up to a 7 or an 8, it makes 7, and you're not doing the daft turns as the defender. You receive the ball and have to turn your whole body to play a ball out of danger. You can deal comfortably with your weaker foot. And see, when you were younger, coaches would inevitably go play this drill with your weaker foot. I bet you were like, no, I don't want to. You end up getting scared. You end up fearing away, and you just want to hit it with your right, but you need to get used to hitting it with your left. Yes, I feel that when you're coaching young kids and you try to encourage them to do drills with both feet, you just don't want to do it. And they say, but I don't want to mess it up. Well, you're at training. That's what training's for, isn't it? Get the mistakes out there and get your left foot, but refer to it as your weaker foot. And not be as good. If you can listen, very few players in the world are as good with both feet. That's a remarkable skill. But if you can have one at a 10 and the other one at an 8, sets you up and great. So what about yourself, Tyler? What advice would you give to the younger kids at the Sons of Struth?
Train 100% every single time and 100% in games every single time. Then you might get a chance for you don't know who's watching. So
no, that's right. I mean, we had scouts at loads of matches that used to play in that you didn't know there were scouts here, because we don't always want to tell people, and that's not because we don't enjoy the success that that people are getting scouted. But if I was to say to you before a game, and everybody in the changing room, by the way, there's a scout from X, Y, and Z club outside, you go into that game different, don't you? Mm-hmm. You're getting maybe a wee bit, I hope I do all right. I'll just go and enjoy yourselves. But I think what you're saying there's spot on, Tyler, that you never know who's watching you. Just go and try your best every single session, every single game. And the worst thing that happens is nobody's watching you. But guess what? See, if you've tried 100% at training, 100% of the games, do you get better quicker?
Yeah.
You're going to improve quicker, so you may as well. But it was enjoyable having you at Sons of Struth for a couple of years, guys, and you were part of a superb team that I'll never forget what that team achieved. It was phenomenal. Very proud of me as a guy that started the club to watch that season. So thanks very much for being part of that. And I'm quite sure you'll go on to even bigger and better things going forward. What was your... See, when your careers, you're 35, 40 and you've stopped playing at football and you're talking about your life, from when you started playing at football, what will be the thing that you'll take out of your Sons of Struth time? What do you think will be the memory that you'll take out of your time at Sons of Struth when you're older and looking back?
I would say just winning stuff for them, and you just remember all the memories with your team and just winning the league and all that. You never forget it, really.
Enjoy that, eh?
Aye.
What about you, Tyler?
The team, just all my best pals, really.
No, that's a nice thing to say, and I certainly seen that there was a good camaraderie there, and it certainly helps a team when you get camaraderie. You work harder for your pal, wouldn't you? Let's be honest with you, naturally, without thinking. But no, that's a nice thing, and I think that wee squad's special. And I think 10 years from now, yous are a wee bit different. Yous are live in the same place, go to the same school, but usually played with kids from Oban, Campbelltown, and boys up down Mitchell way down Ayrshire, and kids from all round. There's not just a local team you played for, there was kids from all the place, and I think 10 years from now you'll still have that bond. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Aye.
And what made that bond? Why is it there?
Because we were just going to training and training with each other every week and seeing each other everywhere, really.
Sweden and that.
Sweden made a lot of difference in South, just connecting with each other.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And certainly that's part of the reason we put on these trips, that we know there's a benefit. And I think even the parents, when they're away, you know, if you're a parent and you're turning up at training and watch your kid train and watching them play, you get to talk to the parents that are beside you. But when you go on these trips as parents as well, like Struth, a bit of bonding there as well, and there's friendships, and you end up, your parents are pally and help each other at car sharing and getting each other to training and stuff. So there's a lot of non-football benefits that we get out of the stuff we do, which is good. So have you enjoyed this experience?
Yeah.
You're talking a wee bit easier than I thought. I thought it might be like drawing teeth, but you're doing all right. The other ones that were in, two of them were a bit older, so they're a wee bit more relaxed. So what's your ambitions? What do you want to be doing next?
Playing for Rangers.
Better tell Hamilton St Johnstone that, eh? Do you think they'll be happy when they hear that one?
No.
That, to be fair, I don't think either would have a problem with that. And if you set your level up there and you try to drive, Hamilton and St Johnstone will both benefit of that, because whatever it is that makes you drive, whatever it is that makes you want to improve, whatever it is that makes you want to get better, the people around about you are going to benefit from that. And watch how you answer this one. What if Celtic asked you to sign?
Sign straight away.
Aye.
He's not
Stay at
squick.
Hamilton.
You what?
Stay at Hamilton.
I stay at Hamilton. Well, boys, it's been great fun having you. And you want to ask me? Yeah? And you want to say? No? See how you sit at this desk? See how you got on this side? No? No, just stick to that side. So, listen, boys, it was great having you at Sons of Struth for a few years each. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing you progress. That whole team, to be honest with you, was the progress in it phenomenal. We managed to bring in even more players this year than released. Right? So, honestly, God, that team, I don't know how they manage it. It's just great hopes for that team this season. And with all due respect, having how we can have 4 players for that one team go to Pro Youth, and I actually think we're in a better position now than we were this time last year. I'm sure you'll see some of your ex-teammates and some of the kids that are playing for Sons of Struth 2010s this year. I'm sure you'll see a lot of them moving up as well in the next few years, because the talent in that squad is phenomenal, and usually we're part of helping building that, because the more good players you've got, the easier it is to get more good players to come, and use then move on to your Hamiltons and St Johnstones and the Partick Thistles and the Queen's Parks like Scotty. When we celebrate that, people see that and they say, it must be some team that, the bloody kids that are going Pro Youth. So that's helped us get even more kids in. So what I'm saying is, if it wasn't for you being good and whatever, we wouldn't attract more good players. So the whole thing evolves, and I hope you appreciate that we try to progress you. Not every kid gets that opportunity. Some are at boys' clubs that they want to hold on to them, they don't want to progress them, which is ridiculous. But our club's ethos is no, get the kids, get them pushed on, because when you go and we tell everybody how well you're doing, it attracts more. And that team lost 4. We lost 4 players last season to Pro Youth and 5 that left the club. Remember that wee period around about March? And we had 11 join. And the 11 that's joined, they're not all better than the ones that left, because they're not Pro Youth level yet. See, when you look at the average, if you look at the average of the ones that left and the average ones that come in, it's get stronger. That's what it's about. We keep doing that, and hopefully this time next year, I've got another 4 in for the 2010s that all went on to Pro Youth, and we can talk to them about how they got there and their experiences and what we can do to help kids. But it was great that you gave me a lot of good memories that last season that you were with, so thanks very much, and all the very best going forward. You've done well. Did you enjoy it?
Aye.
Good. Where's off to now?
I've got training later.
Aye. What time?
5:30, I think.
Well, we'll enjoy it. And Tyler, I was up at St Johnstone last few weeks with another couple of boys in trial, I turned up with my Sons of Struth jacket when it was cold my first day, and I stuck my jacket on. I walked by, and the first thing one of the head of youth went like that. Do you know Tyler? Some player, the big boy, yeah. Everybody up there's raving about you. And I'm sure it'll be the same at Hamilton. When I came to watch a Hamilton Queen's Park game, I was talking to a parent of Hamilton parent, but I didn't realise his kid was at Hamilton. And the first thing he said was how good you'd been doing, and you'd only been there about 4 or 5 weeks at the time. So you're making noises, and I hope I hear that for a long time. And people are always telling me how good Tyler Junior are. I'll be delighted. So thanks very much for coming in, guys. Thanks very much for coming to Sons of Struth. Thanks very much for working hard and giving me some great memories. And can't wait to see where he's all end up. Okay.
Aye.